Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game.
This is Mike Montague with Playful Humans, and you're listening to Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Hey, good people, sexy people. Welcome to another episode of Game On with Jackson Stuart. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart, and I am very pleased to have you with us this evening. Better yet, to say I'm very grateful to have you listening. And that is tonight's topic, gratitude and the game. Not two things most people would think go together, being grateful and being out there in the game in whatever form the game is for you, but trying to level up, be a better player, etc. But those two things actually go together very, very closely. Before we get into the show for the evening, couple things. First of all, I hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving. It's one of those holidays I think we just kind of blow by. It's just like, oh, let's just go eat or, watch parades, watch football, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe go out the night before. I know Black Wednesday. I know there's Black Friday for shopping, but Black Wednesday was like, oh man, that was the hookup night. That was the night to hit the bars, the clubs, people would have parties. It was just a good night because you had people coming in from out of town, visit their families. So, like cities, the population bumps up. People want to cut loose a little bit. So that Wednesday before is the night when a lot of, a lot more gets stuffed in turkeys that night. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of fun, a lot of connectivity happens that night. So hope you had a good Black Wednesday. Hope your Thanksgiving was great. Also, I know today is Black Friday, mad sales everywhere. A couple things, be careful, be polite. Don't be a dick to whoever's trying to find, that toy that isn't on the shelf or whatever, or other people out there shopping. Don't run each other over to buy shit. Come on, people. Life's not about that. And yeah, I hope that in this holiday season, you find a way to give back. You find a way to donate time, love, positivity, and maybe that will follow with you throughout the entire year. Maybe that becomes, part of who you are, community service, giving back. Doesn't take much, and the dividends and the ripples from good acts are just tremendous. Also, we love our guests. They become part of the Game On family. If you have not checked her out, Stormy Maya, StormyMay, is working on her heavy metal. I think I can say heavy metal, or her metal band, Cinnamon Babe. They're releasing an album in January. Follow her on Instagram at Stormy Maya. There's at Stormy Maya 2, and there's also at Cinnamon Babe. So check her out. If you go and follow me on Instagram, Jackson Stuart 2, or Game On with Jack, you'll find, links to her work. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Game On with Jack on Twitter. So please jump in there, follow, building the audience, building the brand. Would love to have you. Also throwing out much love and support for the one and only Ariana Gray, as she continues to entertain gamblers and non-gamblers alike, but people who enjoy a good time with her slot channel on YouTube, jackpotbeauties.com. So check her out and subscribe. And when you subscribe, if you can send her a note, tell her Jack sent you. And she'll owe me. But anyway, Cinnamon Babe, check them out, give them a like. Totally send Stormy positivity and support. And likewise for Ariana Gray and her Jackpot Beauties adventures. So that having been said, tonight we're talking about gratitude and the game. And, some people don't think that the two go together, but they totally do. And here's why. I am a firm believer in all things energy. I believe in attraction. I believe in connectivity. And stress, which is an emotion and an energy, you can't weigh it, you can't see it, but it's very much there. And it has a physical impact. So many diseases are born of and or exacerbated by the presence of stress. So we're well past the idea that energy and emotion do not have a physical impact. They very much do. That's not even metaphysical debate or, lunacy thought of as by some people. It's just clear. I mean, any doctor will tell you that. So if stress as energy can change your body and change your life, if you're stressed out, you act different, and obviously your body responds differently. Then the opposite is true. Excuse me. So therefore, gratitude. Of all emotions out there, with the exception of love, gratitude is the most powerful energy there is. Whether you believe in law of attraction, whether you believe in manifestation, whatever you want to call it, they all agree that gratitude makes a tremendous difference in somebody's life. Therefore, being grateful in the game can only but enhance your game. So let's cover 10 different ways that gratitude enhances you as a player and therefore your experience in the game. Number one, gratitude changes your energy for the better. And by energy, I mean just, you walk into a spot, a bar, club, store, work, party, whatever, and you meet somebody for the first time. And if you're halfway awake, you can tell if you clicked or not. Some people, it's just like, a lead balloon. But some people you meet and it's like licking a live wire. They pop, they charge you up, and you walk away thinking, oh shit, I feel better. That person was cool as hell. And you just met them for like 5 minutes. They have an energy about them. Gratitude makes your energy, that vibe that you give off, very positive. And, let me back up real quick. And I should start off by defining what is gratitude. Gratitude is the act of being grateful. The phase of being, I was going to say thankfulness. I don't know. the phase of the act of thanking, whether it be a person, whether it be God, whether it be yourself, whatever, whoever you feel you need to give gratitude to, or whatever you feel you need to be grateful for. That is being in a state of gratitude. And it's not just enough to just, write it down and say, oh, I'm grateful for another day, my health, my loved ones, etc. But you got to feel it, and so gratitude is not just listing the things that you're happy for. Gratitude is feeling that happiness as you think about those things. Now, some people, and I'll admit I'm one of those, I'm guilty of it. I am fully aware of all the things I am grateful for. I can make you a list all day, all night. And I apologize for the sniffles, everybody. It's that time of the year. But sometimes I struggle with feeling the gratitude. It's like connecting my head and my heart as I discuss my gratitude sometimes eludes me. And a dear friend of mine, she told me, well, Jack, why don't you when you make the list, think of the things and think of moments when you didn't have those things and then moments when you received those things and live in that moment, in that memory, and you will feel it. And she was 100% right. So even if you make a small list of like 3 things in the morning, like I'm grateful for, or 3 things at night, whatever, but like the day I was grateful for, and it can be simple. That cup of coffee I was able to get on my way to work. Think about how much you enjoyed that cup of coffee as you drank it. Or, you got a phone call from an old friend, or, you got somebody's phone number. Just in your head, go back to that memory and feel it. And that is tapping into gratitude. So back to number 1, gratitude changes your energy for the better. People will meet you and they will just feel and be drawn to that ultra powerful positive vibe you give off. I mean, that right there just levels you up as a player in the game. Second thing is that it attracts better interactions. So, just from my own experiences, I remember being younger and being out on the salsa dancing scene. And so the salsa, if you ever got into salsa dancing, it's like it's very universal, but it's a very esoteric club once you get down deep. And you run into the same people at different clubs all the time because they're hardcore in it. And it's like that with anything, whether it be salsa dancing, hip hop, classical music, museum lovers, whatever. There's the top level where everybody gets involved. Then once you get down in it, you start seeing the same faces. And so it never failed. There were nights when I would go dancing and I'd be in kind of a shitty mood, whatever, not feeling it. And it never failed. I had a shitty night. But then, on days that I came in positive, days I came in just grateful for the chance to hear a live band, grateful for the people that I would, I'd met and I would expect to be there or I'd see, and just grateful for the moment, because some of these clubs were just beautiful places with just amazing people, and just you walked in and it just popped, and I would take time to just appreciate it. I would have better interactions. On shitty nights, I'd have bad interactions. I'd ask 10 girls to dance and get turned down by 20. That's how bad tonight would be. Or I'd dance and it wouldn't click, or it was just terrible, or the music wasn't good. But nights I walked in a state of gratitude, it never failed. I always had a good time. And it would be as good as I would end up meeting the people behind the scenes of the venue, the owners, the managers, and they would always take care of me. Like, hey, it's nice meeting you here. What are you eating? Dinner's on me. Drinks are on me. And I would dance with some of the most amazing women and dancers that I'd walk out, grinning from ear to ear. And it was just because I had changed how I walked in. I had changed the state of grace I was in. So, third positive interaction. If you incorporate gratitude into your everyday life, how it impacts the game. You build confidence because of positive itemization. And, I talk to a lot of guys and they're like, shit, Jack, I struggle with things like being confident. I struggle with things like, self-worth and self-esteem. And here's the thing, when you are grateful and you list the things you're grateful for, it's like walking to a warehouse of good shit. It's like, boom, aisle 6, still got my parents. Aisle 19, I'm healthy. Aisle 2, I got a great job that's, helping me do side work. I mean, whatever it is, it keeps you from sitting there and just bitching and moaning all day, which we all do. I mean, shit, Lord knows I have a master's in bitching and moaning. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it changes us from noticing all day all the bad things that happen. Traffic, horrible stuff on the news, horrible things in the world, not enough money, scarcity, anger. It keeps you from thinking like that. No, we're not talking that you're blissfully ignorant, but it's just that you're not dwelling and marinating yourself in just tragedy and hardship. But when you do positive itemization, you start getting confident because you're like, well, I mean, shit, I got all this good stuff going for me. I feel pretty good. And you will, I guarantee you, you'll walk different. You know, you'll keep your head up. Look how many people you see that walk with their head down. And when people are confident, their shoulders are back, their head is up, they just have a better sense, a better vibe about them. And I mean, they come off as confident people. Not cocky, not arrogant, but confident. And that is huge. The game is nothing if it is not about confidence. Go back and listen to all the guests that we've had. And, you know, excuse me, you know, clearly some of the most beautiful women I've ever had the pleasure of interviewing and talking to. But 99% of them all say the sexiest thing about a man, fellas, is confidence. And you can't beat that. So take that into consideration. The fourth positive impact from gratitude in the game is that it improves communication. So it changes how you talk, how you engage with people. And here's another real world example from my life. I know people who are just couldn't be grateful for if a ton of gold fell in front of them. You know, if a ton of gold landed in front of them, you'd say, "Oh shit, you just got a ton of gold," and they'd say, "Yeah, it almost hit me." You know, if they said, you know, nice weather day, and they'd be like, "Well, you can't say that. It might snow." I mean, just everything you could say would be negative, and nobody wanted to talk to them. And some of these were coworkers. And it made work with these people very difficult. Nobody wanted to work projects with them because everything was just so damn negative and draining. But then there were people who were very grateful and full of gratitude for everything that they got. And people flocked to these people. And it was easier to communicate. You understood what they were saying because when they would talk to you, their conversations were not twisted or poisoned through such a negative view of the world. But so it's not that these people, you know, are going to sit in a meeting and only give you details through a very like, you know, overly pessimistic rose tinted glasses, but they had a greater chance to communicate the facts to you rather than communicate you the facts with a very negative slant. Also, and I don't know what the exact correlation or cause and effect is, but these people who are very grateful, when you would sit in a business meeting with them or send an email to them or you know, communicate via email or text, I should say, the interactions were such that there was a connectivity and a rapport that was built very quickly, which led to a more cohesive team, a more solid level of understanding. So for example, you know, there were very negative people that, you know, I've worked with before, and there'd be an email and the email is just like, just edgy as all hell and very negative. And so because people were uncomfortable already dealing with this person, it never failed. People would just blast through the email or ignore it because they didn't want to hear the person's shit all the time. But people who were very grateful and appreciative would have in their emails things like, "Hey, good morning. How are you? First and foremost, you know, congratulations on, you know, something personal that they knew about the person." Or if it was, you know, they didn't have their rapport yet, they would just say, you know, "Hey, I hope that this email finds you, you know, in good health given the, you know, the pandemic, etc." But it was just, defenses went down, guards went down, and communication went up. And they just, gratitude just it just improves your communication better. The fifth way that gratitude improves your game, it helps you attract more. And you can look at it as an idea of, vibration, and the way you vibrate is what you bring to life. Or you can also look at the idea that what you appreciate, you get more of. And here's a real physical example of that. Think of any time in your life when somebody wanted more out of you and they were an asshole about it. They were maybe belligerent. They were, jumping your shit. And the last thing you wanted to do was do more for this person. You were, like most people, are like, fuck you. I'm not doing more shit because you're a jackass to me. Now flip it and think about when somebody wanted you to do something, to do more, and they appreciated what you had done so far. They had come to you and said, hey, you know what? Your, that report you turned in yesterday, amazing. I really appreciate it if maybe you could do another report by the end of the day. And it was sincere. It wasn't just like, it wasn't just bullshit that they told you, but it's almost like gratitude allows a transfer of energy, so they walk in with a good vibe and they give you the good vibe, and then you give the good vibe to somebody else or to something else. So if when you are appreciated, you do more, then when you appreciate your life with gratitude, you get more back from life. Take it or leave it, but think about it, and I'm pretty sure you can prove it to yourself. As you attract more, especially things that enhance your life, think about what you can get out of the game. Think about if you appreciate, if the game for you is relationships, think what you get if you are more grateful for the relationships that you have. Let's say you a man or a woman you're interested in, but you're not there yet. Imagine what it would be like if you appreciated something they did. And I'm not saying go bug ass nuts because, they passed you a straw at McDonald's and you throw them a damn parade. But just, sometimes we just don't tell people that we appreciate them. We are so removed from gratitude as a human species. Now, if somebody texts you and said, hey, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, the first thing you're going to think is first two things. Either might be, what do they want? Or, oh shit, are they okay? Or, oh shit, am I okay? Like, did the doctor call you? Like, something's wrong with me? So we should fix that by appreciating people, more and more. And the more you appreciate, the more you attract back. And sometimes even more than what you expected. Gratitude also reduces stress. Nothing kills the game for a player than being a stressed out psycho. You can't talk to somebody who you're interested in. You can't establish a rapport with somebody who, maybe you're going to build a company with or go to work for. You can't hold court at a party and be that cool guy if you are just, trembling or wound up like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. So when you are practicing gratitude, it reduces your stress. Exactly why and how, hell if I know. I just know it does. And I'm living, breathing, podcasting proof of that being the case. I think probably because when you're stressed out, your mind is focused on a bunch of fearful what ifs. When you are focusing on gratitude, you are looking at very positive what is, not what ifs. And it shifts your mind's intensity and focus and targeting on good things that it knows are there rather than bad things that it's thinking could happen. So you know, being less stressful, being more at ease, at peace, definitely will, make you a better player, make you a better person, and enhance the game for you. So think about that. Also, it enhances your personality. The more grateful you are, the more polite people tend to be, the more considerate, the more caring, the more sincere. And, sincerity and communication are two of the greatest tools to interlock together to make you a solid ass player. And I think I've told this story before, but I've been in spots where, I took a friend to a strip club, and I had been there before. This is literally only like two other times, and the bartenders knew me, the bouncers knew me, the manager, and obviously the dancers. But it wasn't just like they said, "Hey Jackson, what's going on?" Like my friend was with me, and he's like, "Everybody that knows you here, you're like fucking connected. Like it's like you guys grew up together." And I told him it's because I knew things about them and I talked to them and I remember things, but I knew things with genuine, absolute sincerity. So there was a door guy and his kid was in like 10th grade or something. And I gave him a compliment and I was like, well, hey man, congratulations for, for being in your kid's life. That's, we need more good dads and stuff. And next time I saw him, I asked him how his kid was doing. And, the bartender, I remember she had a bad cold once. Next time I saw her, I asked her how she was feeling because it's like, yeah, I remember you had, that wicked cold. And it wasn't just bullshit. It wasn't just like I had a Rolodeck of random facts in my head, but it was sincere, honest to God, concern and sincerity. And you might say, well, I struggle with giving a damn about people. Well, you got to work on that. You might have to go get some professional help on that because that's a lot of empathy. But I think gratitude also makes you very empathetic, and empathic. I feel like I could say both. Sympathetic, I'm sorry, and empathic, because when you are grateful for things, you are also grateful for things that you know what it's like to not have. I feel like those two kind of go hand in hand. Like, you're grateful for food because you know what it's like to be hungry and maybe not starving, but you know what it's like to feel that grumble in your stomach. You're grateful for your car because you know what it's like at one point to not have had a vehicle, to have to walk somewhere or wait for a ride. You're grateful for money in the bank because you know what it's like to not have money in the bank. So to be empathic with people is to remind yourself that you've been in that situation, been in those shoes, and you didn't like what it felt like, and you therefore don't want anyone else to feel the same kind of woe. So that the enhancement on your personality that gratitude can do can literally make you almost like a psychic magician that as soon as they hit the room, boom, connect. They don't have enough time in the night at the event to fulfill all the connections that are just laid bare for them. Like that's how big gratitude can enhance your personality. Studies show that gratitude makes us physically healthier. Like I said at the beginning, we know that stress, which is purely an emotion, which is also an energy, can damage the body. And I'm not a doctor, but just Google it. Stress can lead to, heart disease, high blood pressure, can negatively impact diabetes and just ulcers. Just so many things and our bodies can be destroyed by stress. So it makes perfect sense that a positive emotion can make us healthier. The absence of stress with gratitude can help us to, sleep better because we don't have all that shit running around in our minds. It can make us eat better because let's face it, a lot of bad eating is born from stress eating or, some kind of emotional fulfillment because you're in a bad mood or feeling lack or scarcity. So you shovel in some very high sugary food, or salty foods. I mean, it clearly can make you healthier. So be grateful. And once again, what you focus on grows. So if you're grateful for your health, let's say you're not in the perfect health you want to be in, but you're grateful for the health you got. The more grateful you are for it, that means the more you're focusing on the positive of it. The more whatever you focus on grows. The ninth positive impact on the game by gratitude is that gratitude reduces focus on the material. Which, although, some of the things you're grateful for will be physical objects, your house, your car, furniture, food, clothing on your back. But although they are physical items, what you feel in terms of gratitude may not be completely just, I have it, but may also be a very basic, but yet in-depth appreciation for having them. Like, yeah, you're grateful for your house, you're grateful for having a nice house, but don't forget that you're also grateful because you have something to keep you from being cold. You're not homeless. So you can appreciate the state of having material things hand in hand with having the material thing. And that practice will reduce some of that, like, gotta have this, gotta have it, like keeping up with the Joneses stuff. Because let's face it, in God, that's an old ass term, right? Keeping up with the Joneses, for you young bloods that don't know what the hell that means, is like, you heard your coworker got, a big screen TV, so now you want to go get a big screen TV. Or you just, the new PlayStation 17 came out, so you feel like you got to get it even though you just bought the PlayStation 16. And there's no PlayStation 16 or 17. I just whipped that out. You always feel that you have to have the newest and best thing. But let's face it, that's scarcity. That's not coming at things from gratitude, which is to come at things from a state of abundance. Like, I have plenty. So when you focus on gratitude and being grateful for what you have, you're at peace with what you have. And you don't have to try and fill yourself up with more and more stuff. Last but not least, gratitude in the game increases giving. So you become a more selfless person and you want to give more. And the more you give, the more you get back. And actually, you get back more than you give. Now, it's not the reason why people should be selfless. People should be selfless and be giving because they want to and they don't, they want to help and it's the right thing to do. But it's almost like you just can't help but receive something back from sources that you sometimes couldn't even comprehend. And in terms of the game, whether it be the game of becoming a better you, and I mean that's ultimately the core of the game, right? Being a better you. But whether it be the game in terms of relationships or the game in terms of finance and business or physical and raising your athletic game, whatever it is, the more you give, the more you're going to get back. And to give, the best key to become a more giving person is to be a more grateful person, because gratitude enhances your personality for the better and it floods you with positive outlooks and positive emotions. And one of those is selflessness and the ability to give to people. And it's very important that you be able to give peacefully. Like, if you're going to go and, put $100 bill in a donation bin, but you bitch and moan all while you do it. And after it's done, or like this $100 and you can't put food on the table or you're going to go cold, that cannot be a peaceful giving, So give what you can without destroying yourself. But then also look at what are you giving? Because sometimes donations are not always about money. Sometimes giving isn't always about money, but giving is also about time. And time may be the most priceless currency to give because you can't get more time. That's it. Like, we don't know how much time we got, but that's as much time as we got. You can't work a job and get extra time. It's just not the way it works. But just get in the practice of giving a little bit. I mean, just start small and watch how it feels and watch the positive impact it has on who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. That, folks, is my take. Sorry, can't talk. That is my take on gratitude and the game. And before I end the show, I have to say how grateful I am for all of you players out there who listen to podcasts and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter, and all the guests who, I always say how great they are, but I literally have been blessed with nothing but amazing guests. Every guest has made me a better player myself because I have, so genuinely learned from every interaction with them. So thank you all, and I appreciate you guys, and keep it sexy. Talk to you later. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica, behind the scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com, Game On with Jack. Keep it sexy and game on.